And we are back. Roll up, everybody. Gather, come and join. One man went to mow. The session is back again. So the session commences and your company is required. So gather, come and join me. Let's spend however long this session lasts together. So your presence is required because, of course, I don't want to be here talking to myself. One man went to mow. The eagle has landed.
Water, only water. Water, only water. Where they see my water. Water, 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 water. Only water. Where they see my. Hapa oh night oh. Hapa oh night oh. Hapa you don't come oh. Hapa oh night oh. Oro keke keke elemu ye o. Oro keke. Ide shodi ya keke elemu re o. Oro keke. Bobby master keke elemu re o. Oro keke. Chifu Latif keke elemu re o. Oro keke. Eruku lele elemude. Eruku lele elemudo. Eruku lele ẹgbẹ́ ẹlẹ́múdòdò jàre o. Eruku lele elemudo. Eruku lele Ghana ti dé ẹgbẹ́ bọ́dì o. Ọmọ ẹlẹ́yẹ ẹ̀yẹ ẹ̀yẹ o ó dilé o. Odúyẹ̀lá ẹ̀yẹ o ó dilé o. Ọmọ ẹlẹ́yẹ. Petro Sodana ẹ̀yẹ o ó dilé o. Ọmọ ẹlẹ́yẹ. Petro Sodunke ẹ̀yẹ rẹ̀ ó dilé o. Ọmọ ẹlẹ́yẹ. Ẹlẹ́kọ̀ ọ̀run mú ìní o. Àkùkọ ọ̀run mẹ́kọ̀. Petro Sodana ẹ̀yẹ o ó dilé o. Petro Sodunke ẹ̀yẹ rẹ̀ ó dilé o. Ẹlẹ́kọ̀ ọ̀run mú ìní o. Àkùkọ ọ̀run mẹ́kọ̀.
And there we are. Pardon me for that. Anytime I try to upload a video or a clip to play you later or at some point, I get kicked off the platform for some reason. That happens all the time. I'm going to attempt to upload that video again, but hopefully I don't get. So I'm just lining up now videos that I'll play you in the course of the session. So that's just exactly what's happening now. So just ignore what you're seeing on your screen. So let's just do that. So now let's come in now via a second musical intro. This time, let's not go to the eastern quarters this time. Let's go to the northern quarters and see exactly how the Abokis do it Nyamiri style. So this is the Aboki doing it Nyamiri style.
Idan wani yayi magana
And there you heard it. Anitibubu Agbajoba Omomalas. So that is the Aboki is telling you Anitinubu Agbajoba. So from Ani Tinubu Agbajoba to guys, I bring you this. Explain how you got access to Nnamdi Kanu without DSS permission. This is Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer sweating Orji Kalu regarding now that infamous visit he made to Nnamdi Kanu at the DSS facility without Nnamdi Kanu's lawyers being present. So still a lot of mystery shroud that place, and the lawyer wants it unraveled. Explain how you got access to Nnamdi Kanu without DSS permission, lawyer tells Orji Kalu. So that battle line, that storyline seems to continue to sizzle and simmer. So from the sizzling and simmering, we go on to now Orji Kalu clapping back. Orji Kalu will pay if anything happens to Nnamdi Kanu in DSS facility. So there it is. It's just the usual threats, of course, that you get from the Eastern Quarters. This is something now that is just the currency. That's just the currency rather that we have come to expect from that space. So the back and forth there within the Eastern Quarters now, threats against Orji Kalu regarding his visit to Nnamdi Kanu. So now we've been trying to introduce human interest stories just to break away from the politics of the day. And this today's human interest story. Nasarawa housewife, how my husband's teenage son impregnated me. So a taboo you would think, but then is it? We hear what she has to say to justify that. So we go quickly there to visit that space. We might visit it at the end of the narration. But back to the politics quickly. Representative of Lagos State Governor Sanwo Olu booed at Experience concert days after release of white paper denying Lekki Tollgate massacre. So I've got video clips of this as well. This was what I was trying to load up when I got kicked off the platform. And it looks as though Tinubu himself was also booed at that concert. Hashtag ENDSARS concert. Worshippers boo Lagos State Governor at the Experience. So that might well be the title for that concert that Tinubu was booed at. So there it is. Plenty to go through, as I said. So kick back, lean back, sit back. Click on the hyperlink if you want to come and join me. If you want to come and join me live on screen to interact with the talking points, then you just click on the hyperlink. It's there on the screen. So you can it's the link that says StreamYard. If you want to come and be a contributor or commentator, just click on that. And as soon as I've read out the talking points, I'll just let you onto the screen. But before I read out the talking points and let you onto the screen, let's not be partial and go to the east and hear what they have to say. Because we've been to the north and they are telling us that Anitinubu Agbajoba. But what are they saying in the east? Another Python dance?
Do Ipob, O Mary Wonizu, Moniroya, Abakare, Mama Daora, Olabori Mary Nandi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, now Python dance 3. Olabori Mary Nandi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2. Na Python dance the three. Unabori Mary Nandi bu onye du Ipob. O Mary Wonizu Mbiroya. Abakare Mamanda Ora. Unabori Mary Nandi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2. Now Python dance 3. Unabori Mary Nandi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2. Now Python dance 3. Unabori Mary Nandi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2. Now Python dance 3. Unabori Mary Nandi win the war. Python Python dance one, Python dance two, a Python dance three. Una boy very Nandi. Nandi win the war. Python dance one, Python dance two, a Python dance three. Una boy very Nandi.
And there you have it. NNAMDI win a war. Python dance, Python dance. NNAMDI win a war. Python dance, Python dance. So the Python dance that you have now come to know and love as one of the signature tunes of this platform. So Nnamdi win a war. As guys, I bring you this. Explain how you got access to Nnamdi Kanu without DSS permission. Lawyer tells Orji Kalu. Ifeanyi Ejiofor, lead counsel to Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the Indigenous People of Biafra IPOB, has called on the Senate Chief Whip, Orji Kalu, to disclose pardon me, Orji Kalu to disclose how he gained access to the agitators in the detention of the Department of State Services DSS. Kanu's lead counsel, in a statement he signed on Saturday, described Kalu's visit to Kanu as a cheap political stunt and hypocritical pretensions. Ejiofor disclosed that he was informed on Monday that a politician had expressed a desire to see Kanu. This, he said, made him compile a fresh list of visitors submitted to the secret police. The lawyer stressed that as a result of the system in place, Kalu could not be allowed to visit the IPOB leader in detention that same day. However, the former Abia governor was said to have wittingly gained access to the facility, which caused a delay for Kanu's lawyers. While Ejiofor called Kalu to explain how he gained access to Kanu, he added that the politician's visit to the IPOB leader was no more than an empty positioning for political gains ahead of 2023. So this is a statement in full. I hope it's not too. It is rather long-winded. I might or might not read. This is the thing. These guys, they don't tend to sum it up in short phrases. They like to print and pick up with everything. So here goes. This is the lawyer's statement. On or about 11 a.m. on the 29th of November 2021, I received a call from a reliable source. The latter informed me that a certain Orji Kalu expressed desire to see my client, Onyendu Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The intended visit was ostensibly in further pursuit of political solution to the unconditional release of my client. I had before then resolved not to constitute myself an impediment to the exploration of any such political solution. I welcomed the idea. Consequently, I was constrained to substitute the name of one of the persons already scheduled for the visit for the name of Orji Kalu. I then proceeded to submit a fresh list. Containing the name of the latter to the relevant authorities on or around about 12 noon of the aforementioned date. When the team of lawyers who were scheduled to visit my client arrived at the reception hall of the headquarters of the Department of State Services on or around about 1:55 p.m. of the aforementioned date, they were informed that Orji Kalu, whose name appeared on the list at the 11th hour, would not be allowed to see Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The reason for this decision was clear, as the name of Orji Kalu was merely submitted on the day of the intended visit and not earlier as was the practice. He could not, without permission and or clearance from superior authority, be granted access to visit my client in the detention facility of the DSS. Orji Kalu's hypocritical pretensions was worsened by the fact that he is a politician, and a wily one at that, and he's not related to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu either by affinity or consanguinity, whatever that means. Consanguinity. So that is a new Igbo word. This position taken by the detaining authority did not come as a surprise, or so I thought. Long before the 29th of November 2021, the DSS consistently and variously denied certain persons of sundry political persuasions and proven elder statesmen access to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in DSS custody. A case in point is that of Dr. Chukwuemeka Ezefe, former governor of Anambra State. The inclusion of the name of Orji Kalu at the 11th hour in the fresh list submitted to the DSS on the day of the intended visit had the effect of temporarily stultifying the access operatives of the DSS could easily have afforded the lawyers. So I thought honestly, but there was more to it. The lawyers were kept waiting till on or around 3:20 p.m. of that day when they were finally cleared to the ingress of the facility. At first, I thought this delay to be inexplicable and unreasonable. But with hindsight, I concluded that the delay was deliberate. It was occasioned by the fact that Orji Kalu had earlier arrived at the DSS facility and had gone to visit Mazi Nnamdi Kanu at the time the lawyers were literally forced to wait for a pretended reason. I then became convinced that the objection that was taken at the inclusion of the name of Orji Kalu at the 11th hour in the list of persons scheduled for the visit was a ruse, a smokescreen, and a deceptive ploy, ingeniously but mischievously contrived to hoodwink us. It had that temporary effect. The pretended reason was designed to keep us waiting while Orji Kalu had his interaction with Kanu. The delay of about 2 hours was clearly unjustified. Orji Kalu, whose name was on the list of visitors that was submitted and whose name was deceptively objected to by operatives of the DSS, had earlier arrived the DSS facility and had, in a manner that was extremely surreptitious, gained access to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in custody. Lawyers that congregated for the meeting stared with open mouth when they gained access to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and were informed by him that Orji Kalu had earlier visited him that day. I must note that the DSS operatives at the reception hall were not let in on the surreptitious access that was granted to Orji Kalu. They did not know when the latter arrived at the facility and when he stole in to see Mazi Kanu. It is for Orji Kalu to explain honestly how he gained access to Kanu. If Orji Kalu did not go through the proper channel, which starts from the reception upon the submission of a list containing names already scheduled visitors, how then did he gain access to Kanu? Why was that extant protocol not followed? So there you are. Orji Kalu as ever, always the boju way, always the unsavory way, always the sly way, always the dishonest way. Dishonesty and Orji Kalu synonymous words. Orji Kalu will pay if anything happens to Nnamdi Kanu in DSS. His mission suspicious. So IPOB speaks to the space. The indigenous people of Biafra IPOB on Saturday vowed to hold Orji Kalu, Senate Chief Whip, responsible for any. Let me start that all over again. The indigenous people of Biafra IPOB on Saturday vowed to hold Orji Kalu, Senate Chief Whip, responsible if anything happens to its leader, Nnamdi Kanu. IPOB lamented that Kalu's unsolicited visit to Kanu while in detention was worrisome, adding that the purpose of his visit was suspicious. Imar Powerful, spokesman of IPOB, said the mission of the former governor of Abia State is unknown. In a statement he issued, Powerful said, "We, the global movement and family of the indigenous people of Biafra IPOB, under the command and leadership of our great leader Mazin Nnamdi Kanu, is raising alarm over the unsolicited visit of Orji Kalu to our leader Mazin Nnamdi Kanu whenever our leader Mazin Kanu is detained. We don't know the mission of Orji Kalu over the visits and we are worried. We therefore wish to put the world on notice that Orji Kalu will be held responsible for whatever happens to our leader Kanu in detention. We are not comfortable with Orji Kalu's suspicious visits to our leader. We don't know whose interest he protects. We will also hold responsible those who permitted him to see our leader in detention." The separatist group also vowed to hold the Department of State Services DSS responsible if any harm comes to Kanu. IPOB wondered why Kalu would be allowed access to its leader despite court ruling. The DSS allowed him access against court order, which all visitors, including Kanu's lawyer, comply with. We all knew that Orji Kalu's name is amongst those bankrolled. We all knew that Orji Kalu's name is amongst those who bankrolled and sponsored the extraordinary rendition of Mazin Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya to Nigeria, he said. So TikTok, the clock ticks for what is his name? Orji Kalu. So let me read you this. I'll read you this next piece, and then I'll play you two sets of video, and then I'll read you the succeeding piece. So, representative of Lagos State Governor Sanwo Olu booed at Experience concert after release of white paper denying Lekki Toll Gate massacre. A representative of the Lagos State Governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, was on Friday night booed by participants at this year's Experience concert organized by the House on the Rock Church. Many of the attendees, who pointed their thumb downwards as the official spoke and asked God for blessing on Lagos and its people, soon started booing and making different sounds to show their disapproval with his presence and his speech. In a video of the incident seen by correspondents, the crowd increased the tempo of the booing and noise as the Lagos official tried his best to pass across the governor's message calling for unity and peace amongst the people of Lagos. It took the intervention of senior pastor of House of the Rock and convener of the yearly worship concert, Paul Adefarasin, to stop the angry crowd from going on with their display of anger and disapproval of Governor Sanwo-Olu's representative. Friday's event came days after the Lagos State Governor denied the killing of peaceful protesters at the Lekki Toll Gate by military personnel and policemen on October the 20th, 2020. The governor, through the release of a white paper, debunked the findings and recommendations made by a judicial panel of inquiry it had set up earlier to look into the causes of the ENDSARS protest and shootings of demonstrators on that fateful day. The panel in its report stated that at least 9 persons were killed by soldiers at the Lekki toll gate on that day, while several others were left with life-threatening wounds as a result of being hit by bullets. The panel report urged the Lagos state government and other relevant authorities to punish all those involved in the killing of innocent protesters. But in a swift response to the indictment by the panel's report, Governor Sanwo Olu created another 4-member committee to come up with a white paper on the findings of the JPI. In the white paper, the Lagos state government described the claim of the panel that 9 persons were shot dead as assumptions and speculations. The federal government has since backed Sanwo Olu's administration into the federal government has since backed Sanwo Olu's administration into claiming that there was no massacre at Lekki Toll Gate on October the 20th, 2020. Several rights groups from around the world, including the United States, United Nations, European Union, have all called on the Lagos and federal governments to implement the recommendations of the JPI report, headed by Ebun Olu Adegboruwa, SAN, senior advocate of Nigeria, but it wasn't headed by him. Okuobi is Doris Okuobi is who headed that space. I know Adegboruwa is the noisemaker of the space. This is the Kanu situation, isn't it? A lot of people will tell you that Kanu is the leader of the Igbo space because he's the biggest loudmouth, but it's not, of course. As Adegboruwa is not the leader of the JPI panel. It wasn't the head. It was Doris Okuobi panel, it is called. But pardon me, the NSAS protest was one of the most historic events of 2020. Young people from across Nigeria took to the streets in large numbers to demand an end to police brutality and improved performance from elected officials in government. The demonstration grew so large that prominent people around the world, including music stars Beyonce, Rihanna, and Nicki Minaj, all raised their voices in support of the protesters. 1 year after the historic march by young Nigerians, nothing has changed as police harassment, brutality, and bad governance have all been on the rise in the country. In fact, things have worsened, essentially, is what is being said there. So let me now play you these clips just so you get a feel of what happened at that concert. So let me just play you, just scroll up a bit and I'll play you these clips in a moment. So this was first the exchange between the people at the concert and Sanwo Olu's representative. So watch this. Just to pause it for a moment, what you are hearing is Sanwo Olu's representative trying very hard to address this congregation. And what you are also hearing louder is the congregation's response to him. So listen on. So what you just saw there was Sanwo Olu's representative attending a concert. I'm not quite sure. I just read out now what it was called. Experience, they call it, concert organized by Adefarasin'S church, in attempting to whitewash that ENDSARS space. So that was him trying to whitewash the ENDSARS space at that concert. And that's what we heard louder was the response of the attendees of that concert. So now, as ever, everybody has sold out in Nigeria, and the pastor of that congregation has sold out too. Why am I saying this? Watch this.
The behavior tonight is unscriptural. The Bible says, do all things without murmuring and complaining. Number one. Number two, the scripture enjoins us to pray for our leaders and all that are in authority. This behavior is not biblical. And I earnestly caution you that we must learn how to pray for those who lead us, that we may dwell peaceably in the lands in which they lead. And you must never disrespect authority, because they bear the sword, and you don't want them to bear the sword against you in judgment. I apologize to the leaders of Lagos State on your behalf.
So that was the pastor of the Rock House of the Rock, or whatever it's called, doing in his fake accent, pleading for dollars from the Lagos state government off the back of the NSAS atrocities. So there you have it. That's just how things play out in Nigeria. So still within that space, though, worshippers boo Lagos governor at experience. So it looks as though he attempted to speak as well. Worshippers at the experience in the early hours of Saturday booed the Lagos state governor whilst delivering a goodwill message to the global concert hosted by House on the Rock Church in Lagos. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo Olu okay, sorry, I think this may well be what we just read. But let me just read it anyway. Lagos State Governor represented by Sanwo Olu was Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo Olu was represented by his Commissioner for Budget and Economic Planning, Samuel Igube. We choose to turn to light, to peace and righteousness. Mr. Igube had sought to admonish the audience from the Holy Bible. He was, however, not allowed to settle into his speech before shouts of contempt reverberated across the congregation. Mr. Igube incoherently fast-tracked the delivery of his message and left the podium hurriedly. Convener of the concert, Paul Adefarasin, senior pastor of the House on the Rock Church, however, cautioned the crowd, saying the booing of politicians was unscriptural. The behavior tonight is unscriptural. The Bible says, "Do all things without murmuring and complaining," Adefarasin said. Mr. Adefarasin asked the people to pray for political leaders instead of booing them. The scripture enjoins us to pray for our leaders and those in authority. This behavior is not scriptural, and I must honestly caution us, Mr. Adefarasin added. The Sanwo-Olu-led Lagos state government has come under fire for discrediting the report of the Judicial Panel of Inquiry set up in Lagos to investigate police brutality and the mindless killings of protesters in Lekki on October the 20th, 2020. Mr. Sanwo-Olu had said the report of the panel could not be relied upon to conclude that the incident of that night was a massacre. So there you have it. That is just what's playing out there. So finally, we land on this human interest story. So this is now quite an intriguing one. Nasarawa housewife, how my husband's teenage son impregnated me. So that already a headline filled with intrigue. But what went down is the question to make her go down. Is the bigger question. Mrs. Justina Agumi, a housewife in Nasarawa State, has narrated how she got impregnated by her biological husband's son. The woman who blamed the incident on a frosty relationship with her husband said things fell apart in her marriage after she was unable to conceive. In a chat with correspondents, Agbumi said being childless for 19 years, she was curious to establish whether she was indeed incapable of childbearing. She said she decided to put her fertility to the test with the young man who was staying with them, not knowing that the young man was the biological son of her husband. Uh, Agbumi said her husband, who is now late, had brought the young man and introduced him to her as one of his relatives from the village. He said the relationship He said the relationship with her husband, which was once the envy of many, became laced with frustration because she was unable to conceive. It got to a point that I asked myself if I was living with the same man that I married. He suddenly became a beast, calling me names, harlot, and useless, just because I couldn't take in. He was my best friend before we got married. We were ready to have children as quickly as possible so we could move on. But after 5 years and more, there was nothing. I didn't take in, so I became worried. We went for several tests, but we were told I had no problem, but my husband had a low count and he needed to regulate his diet, which we did, but nothing changed. Because he is the only son, his mother had already become hostile to me, visiting regularly from the village while my husband also joined her in frustrating me. Before then, I visited places my faith would ordinarily not permit uh, because all I wanted was a child, yet nothing came out of it. That was how I started living alone. I cried daily, but it didn't bring any succor. One day, I got an idea and decided to test my fertility with another man. I realized that it would be adultery of the highest order, but I also felt it would be lesser sin if it was my husband's relation who was staying with us. I drew the young man closer and made him my best friend since my husband had stopped making love to me for close to 7 months. Luring Godwin to sleep with me was a difficult decision, but I was also considering my age. I had never cheated on my husband before, but I had reached the limit of my endurance and the circumstances around me was not in my favor. I concluded that I would test my fertility through Godwin. I had seen Godwin's crotch during our house cleaning, so I realized his manhood was big enough to give me satisfaction, though he was only 17 years old. Uh, I started admiring him anytime my husband went to work. I would summon courage and make advances to him, drawing him closer with me with petty items. In no time, he succumbed and they started to do whatever it is they were doing. Though he was not too perfect because he had not been, well, I don't want to get too graphic, so I'll skip over that. But I was teaching him. I also warned him never to reveal it and threatened to kill him if he opened up to anyone. We progressed in that direction, especially during my ovulation period. In no distant time, he was able to impregnate me. I missed my period 3 months after. I was very happy that the plan to test my fertility worked and that what my husband could not do for years, Godwin did in a short time. One fortunate thing was that Godwin himself did not know that he was responsible for it. Unfortunately for me, I didn't know that Godwin was the unfortunately for me, I didn't know that Godwin was actually the biological son of my husband. The entire family hid it from me so I would not victimize him. A twist had occurred in the matter when Godwin secured admission. into the College of Education Akwanga and was traveling to commence registration when he had an accident that claimed his life. He died before I could deliver a baby boy. So it's a complex one, but who carries the blame there is the question. To you then, Thomas. Thomas, are you there?
Yes, please.
Good to have you, Thomas. So going first to that last story that I just read, that woman's circumstance. What are you making of that?
Oh, woman. Good evening. Good evening to our listeners. I can you reiterate the what you're trying to say? I don't really understand it.
All right, let's skip through that then. Which bits did you pick up in all things I read?
Yes, I pick up the bully which happened in Adefarasin'S church in the experience.
Yes. So yes. So Sanwo Olu sent a representative to Adefarasin'S church to go and try and whitewash that NSA space and their white paper. But of course the Lagosians, you don't catch them off guard because they wake up very early and they just told him to get lost. But surprisingly now, the pastor was admonishing the people for giving that guy a hard time off the back of trying to cover up the killings of people. So what are you making of that just space, that space? The guy going to other Pharisees church, the response of the congregation, and how the pastor came in.
Uh, it, it's very unfortunate that we find ourselves in this position. Sanwo Olu himself, if that guy really love himself, he should just resign from that post. I don't know what he's still doing in that post as a governor of that state. He has indicted himself with the panel has indicted him as well. So I know people will be bullying Sanwo Olu everywhere he goes. If there is no justice, there will not be peace. I remember we talked about the working of peace, the peace work or working of peace that he said people should come and work with him. That you will see that people are not happy with him. Even they don't even care. Those people, the youths, even they're in the church, they don't even care. Maybe they are in the presence of God or as a holy place, as a holy ground. They don't care. They bully, even though the man that came is not the governor, but is the representative of the governor. They bullied him. That means to say that man, I don't know. I don't know African leaders if they don't think of resigning or just leave the post. Because one Yoruba adage said, they don't want you in the town. You said people should dance to your song. Who will dance to your song? So people are not dancing to Sanwo Olu's song at all. I don't know how that man.
What are you making of the pastor admonishing the congregation for booing Sanwo Olu's representative? Why do you think he was allowed on that rostrum to give that speech? And why do you think the pastor took the stance that he took?
Yes, I saw the video. He apologized to Lagos State government, isn't it?
Yes. Why do you think he did that? Sorry, before you
But
no, before that, why do you think that guy was allowed on that rostrum to make that speech? Why was Sanwo Olu's representative allowed on that rostrum to make that speech?
No, yes, that is what they normally did every year. All experience every year. Since Sanwo Olu is a Christian, is the MFM member, Mountain of Fire Ministry, is a Christian. They normally invite any top people to come to just because experience
Okay.
is a big program out there in Lagos. So he's a Christian, so that's why I thought the pastor Adefarasin'S invited him, and I know maybe with his busy schedule, that's why he sent the representative.
Or more likely he knew the response, but
Yes, yeah, maybe you are right. I know where you are trying to drive to, but it's very unfortunate. But I love how the pastor apologized on behalf of the youth, and at least just to be the peacemaker as a pastor, as a clergy, just to be a peacemaker.
Do you think he should have apologized, or he should have found a different language, a conciliatory language, rather than an apologetic one?
One man, he was he was protecting his pocket.
That's the thing, isn't it? It was money.
He was protecting his pocket.
It's money now.
His wallet.
It's money now. Well, you are trying to give him a pass, Thomas.
He won't be an obedient servant.
Yes,
he's looking for dollars.
It's money, isn't it?
That's what they do.
No. When he's saying "tot" on the screen, like it was like you think it was Prince Charles that was talking, trying to out English the English,
One man, what do you expect him to do?
I expected him to say, oh, look, guys, I understand your frustration, but we have to make attempts to heal the space, this, that, and the other. So he would acknowledge the anger of the audience while still insulating his guest. That is what he should do. He would not admonish his audience for his guest, because then he's sacrificing the congregation to that guest. So why would he do that? Money.
No. That pastor is.
I forget it. He's rich, Abi. Look at that.
He's rich.
Look at that.
No. Well, I understand you. You should have admonished the youth, because he should know the frustration of the youth.
Yes, so he should acknowledge that frustration by placating them. Hold on.
Let me help Thomas.
Hold on. By placating them. So he should placate the audience, because their anger is genuine and is legitimate. The reason for the anger is legitimate. There's no reason why they shouldn't be, and there's no reason why they will react otherwise. So he should acknowledge that space, that your grievances are legitimate. But then I can also understand that if you invite somebody as your guest, you have to insulate him somewhat. So you should insulate that guest as well. So he should find that middle ground language to speak to that space. But he threw the congregation under the bus to protect his guest. That is a dollar move. Dollar.
No. One man, to me. No. One man, to me, he did the right thing. He did the right thing. People, if he admonished the guest by trying to, I understand what you say, that he should balance the equation between the youth and the Lagos State government. So, but he did the right thing.
He threw the youth under the bus for the Lagos State. Oh, did you not hear him? I heard him. Now. He threw them under the bus. I apologized on their behalf for being angry that they were killed just defenselessly. They were slaughtered. He apologized for them being slaughtered, for being angry at being slaughtered. What sort of a pastor
you are always devil's advocate.
Dollar bag pastor. What says you, Vin? Let's hear from Vin. Vin, what are you making of that?
My brother, you see, he was just protecting his pocket. He's running out of cash, and you know that we are in a season. We are in a season
where they do bazaar, where they do Thanksgiving and so on and so forth. But for Sanwo Olu to come there, you see, what I hate is that some people will use the name of God. You know what happened? People are aggrieved. As a pastor, people are aggrieved. There is a news, it is in the public domain that some women, their children, bereaved, families of the NNAMDI took, raised some, what do they call some grievances towards the Lagos government some few days ago. These were the people that they said, oh, they don't have no family. Where are the families? Now they are coming out. You see, you know what is on the ground, and you want to now add pepper to salt. If I were Sanwo, you set up an investigative committee that indicted the army, indicted even the government of Sanwo Olu. What do you supposed to do? Find a common ground, at least to appease the people, not by asking them. So look at what he said. He called Macroni, he called Faz, he called Shehu Kuti to come so that they will go a peace walk. You are going to do a peace walk on the ground that is ridden with blood, innocent blood. Now you go there. In fact, I love what the congregation did. If it were me, they should have stoned him. They should have stoned him for coming there. And when the report you organized
they
came
would have
out,
stoned him. Yeah.
Oh, I know.
if it was not in a church setting, they would have reacted physically. What a nonsense! Coming there to
yes. People are angry. Look at what happened there.
And the wound is still raw. The wound is
still raw.
It's still raw, and you are coming to.
It's not dead.
Something, do politics and nonsense.
You want to go there to do, because the man has a mega church. You want to go there, to do what? What are you going there to do? Where the blood is still fresh on the ground. People are aggrieved. Do you know the next protest that is going to come because of this thing, that this singular act of Sanwo Olu?
Yes. The way they are handling this is almost the build up to the next protest, because
to a bigger one.
Hold on, please. The way they are handling it is to suggest that they still don't understand what is being said to them. There is nothing in the response to that ENDSARS space that shows any understanding that these people get what people are saying to them. They don't seem to get it. People are asking for consequences. They are asking for accountability. They are asking for justice, and you are saying, You don't. It's a nonsense.
I listened to what Femi Falana said some time ago. He said you wouldn't have seen people like Iboho and NNAMDI Kanu coming out if there is justice on the ground. You would have seen them. If the right thing were done, let everybody develop, grow according to your own capacity, grow your place according to your own capacity, not, bamboo the work, monkey the chop. Things will be fine. And as you are doing this thing, you are accommodating everybody. Some people still believe that they own the country. They can do, and you cannot do anything. So this is the injustice and the impunity that is going on, that brought about people like NNAMDI, people like me and you, my brother. That is
we always land on that NNAMDI Kanu. Okay.
I'm making
people.
No, bro. I am half Nigerian. For me, I am half Biafran, partially Nigerian, and half Ghanaian. So for me, I have a soft spot. I have a soft spot for people that are there, because I feel one day I may like to go there. You see, I belong to both. One day I would like to go there. Will you want me to travel from here, and I will not travel from Lagos by road to Abia State?
All right. All right. Thank you, Vin. Let's get back to Thomas. Thomas, thank you, Vin. Let's hear your concluding thoughts on that Adefarasin'S space. And Lagos State.
Yes, Adefarasin, to me, the pastor did the right thing. I don't think any dollar is exchanging hands there. Yes, I don't think that.
Were you a member of the church? Were you a member of his church?
No, no, I'm not the member of this church. I'm not the member of this church. But to me,
One man, you are
that
wicked.
No, now that's a congregant speaking, isn't it?
no, no,
That
no,
the
no, no.
geo, all this that the geo sort of behavior. That the geo.
One man. I'm a
Yes.
Christian. I'm not his church member. I'm a Christian. I go to church. I worship God.
All
I'm
right.
not his church member. But
Touch not your anointed, Abby. Is this what you're doing? Touch not your anointed.
no,
Look at that.
one man.
Thomas.
Don't
This is
go
what
this
you're doing now.
route.
Touch not your anointed.
No, 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 no. If Adefarasin didn't call the soldier,
Uh-huh.
Adefarasin don't invite the army.
All
So
right.
it's Sanwo Olu that did the atrocity. I wonder why Sanwo Olu hasn't resigned now. Everything we have been talking tonight should fall on Sanwo Olu. This pastor is neutral. This pastor has been speaking against evil in that country. You know, this man has been speaking against it. Remember, he's the one that talked about second plan B, that people should
Escape the country. Yeah.
escape the country because he's speaking the truth. This man doesn't care. He has been speaking the truth. I follow him back to back. He has been saying the truth to the management, to the authority every time. So I don't think any dollar exchange. I just think he just respect the Lagos state government. Then you remember in the Bible, the Bible said we should respect the authority. He's preaching what
But
No be the
the
authority
Bible.
where they killing people.
you don't respect Buhari here now. Do you respect Buhari here? All the names you call him every day.
One man.
And you are
That
a Christian.
one man. That is in the Bible. That is what Bible said. Bible said,
But Thomas, Thomas, you come here every day and you throw all manner of abuse at Buhari.
because yes, I can throw Buhari now. I don't
Thomas, you
vote.
can
But
appropriate and reprobate.
what about what the Bible said now?
I don't vote for Adefarasin now. I vote for Buhari. We vote for Sanwo Olu. We don't vote for Adefarasin.
Look at this guy. Yeah? You don't get it, but carry on.
Yes, I know what you are saying.
He's
No,
a
I
hypocrite.
understand
You
you.
just told us now that the Bible tells you that you should respect authority.
Let me help. One man.
Hold on. Adefarasin then has to respect Sanwo Olu. But you, as a Christian, you don't respect Buhari. So where is the consistency?
I want to help you.
One man. Let me finish, Vin, please. I'm not saying that we have been talking against Sanwo Olu here now, which you know, and against Buhari and against all the bad politicians. But I think the pastor did the right thing to apologize on behalf of them. If it is not in his church, if it is outside, the pastor will not say anything. Even they could even stone this man. If it is not in the church, I know the youth are angry because the wound is still fresh. Because Sanwo Olu did not admonish the people who died. They are still in denial. But the pastor is neutral because he has been speaking the truth to the management, to the government, to the administrations from onset. So I don't think the pastor did something wrong. But Sanwo Olu will think twice now. Anywhere it's going, he will think twice because the youth will be booing him every time. That is my submission.
Do you think he can be returned for a second term, Sanwo Olu? Do you think he will be returned for a second term?
One man, if they have fair election in Lagos State, Sanwo Olu will not come back. But if the Jagaban is still with him, Sanwo Olu will come back second term. Right. He will come back second term. But if the votes of the people count, no way. No way. People are grieved. This NNSARS thing, one man, Nigeria never moved fast. So we normally move past some things. But this ENDSARS,
do you think NSAS will be a political hot potato come the next election? Do you think that is where the opposition will come at him from NSAS?
Woman, you are a prophet. That is what I'm thinking. They will campaign for that. Then Lagos cake and lose. Though. You know, sometimes if people don't want you, even to rig election will be difficult.
Please, one man.
You understand what I mean?
Mm.
To rig election will be difficult. If people don't, can you imagine they want to rig Abga in the last election in Anambra? It will be difficult for them because people don't want APC.
Yeah, but they don't really care about Anambra now. Anambra is just some satellite little town in the east. But Lagos they care about.
But they still care about Anambra now.
Yeah, who cares about that? Apart from Anambrans, nobody really. Who even apart from who? Why would anybody care about Anambra, Thomas? Why?
You are right, because they don't even care about themselves.
No, it's just they care about themselves, but it's not anything. It doesn't add anything to anything. It's just
Thomas, be careful. They have carried your supreme leader in UK, so be careful.
What the Ayatollah? The Ayatollah grandson. He's still celebrating that one. He's still drinking champagne over.
He should rot in jail. If you commit offense, you should rot in jail. I don't care about it. I'm saying the truth here. So that is my own submission. So ENDSARS will be a hot cake to like what happened in Jonathan's time. It will be, but to rig election in Lagos for other opposition party, it will be difficult because of the Jagabans. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, okay, Thomas, let me then take you to the east where you were already speaking to, and this narrative now, this contractor that is going on between Orji Kalu and the Ipob movement, with Kanu being the sandwich in the middle. So this is just this sly, sneaky way, this wily ways. This is just the thing about this Orji Kalu. Anytime that he comes into play, you just feel the sense that something untoward is happening or has happened or is about to happen. There's nothing ever straightforward about Orji Kalu and not straightforward again. So he manages to wrangle himself onto the list of people that can visit Kanu. So he then got himself onto the list, and then within an hour of getting himself onto that list, he just went straight to DSS facilities, and they opened the doors to let him in to visit Umar Hiabon. So this caught the IPOB team and the Nnamdi Kanu's lawyers off guard, because there are processes that should have been gone through before this guy is allowed to come in, and his lawyers must be present. So now this back and forth now between the IPOB space and the wily Orji Kalu.
You remember the last time we spoke on this, I said, I don't know what the man is going there for. I don't know what he's trying to get. And I suspected him. Maybe he's trying to use Nnamdi Kanu as a collateral damage to boost his own political career. Because now people will be saying him, he's with our son. He's with our son. But the man had his own motive. He has his own ulterior motive going there. Because even the family member of this guy, they did not allow them. Even for the lawyer to see this man is war. Remember the last time the lawyer complained that they almost stripped them naked before they can see this man. They frustrated them in every angle before they can see their client. But this man just get his name there between some hours, 2 hours. He's been there. Then even the man is even saying, the LPAB should shut up, that if Nnamdi Kanu don't want him, he will not let him in. It's because Kanu wants him there. That is why he is there. I don't know what the man is doing there, but I suspected he's trying to use Kanu as a collateral damage to boost his own political I
But
don't know.
IPOB also said that, and more importantly, Ifeanyi Ejiofor, he also said that all Orji Kalu is doing is to use Nnamdi Kanu's potency as political leverage. So he was just trying to cash him in politically because he offers nothing. So he said that Kanu's lawyer. So that then begs the question: if he knows that, then he would have known that before they put Kalu's name on the list of people that can visit Kanu. So why then did they even put his name on the list in the first place? Is the bigger question.
You are right. Then I think maybe he went there to persuade Kanu, at least to mellow down, to calm down a bit, even to get out of this mess. Because if you are in captivity, you can't fight for your people. So I think it could be that as well. We don't know. We don't know what is the motive of going there. We are just speculating. We may be right and we may be wrong, but maybe he went there to just to tell this man, can you please calm down? I agree with everything they want you to do. We are outside there. We are planning for your release. We just agree with the government. If you get out, then we know what next to do. It may be that as well. But people may think maybe he's trying to get this political leverage using Kanu as a collateral damage. But we could think the other way as well. It may be for Kanu's good. Maybe he's pressing some button to help this man out of this mess. We don't know. So let us just give him benefits of doubt. Something will come out after his visit to this guy. So let's just think in that positive side, not the negative side.
All right. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you for opening things up for us. Thomas, let's go on to Vin and sample his opinions. Vin, are you still with us? Do we have Vin?
Yes.
Vin, okay, good to have you. So Vin, just that space that Thomas just left, the mystery behind Kalu's visit to Kanu. So just a lot of dark, shadowy things happened in the build-up to and during that visit. So what are you just making of that whole space? Kalu's visit and IPOB and the lawyer's response.
Thank you very much, Mr. Woman, and good afternoon to everybody from Ghana. It is very sunny, very bright here in Ghana. You see, I would have been the last person that will even support the visit of Orji Kalu to Kanu.
Sorry. Why are you putting Ghana in our face, Vin? Ghana. You have mentioned Ghana almost 5 times. Is it because
this is where my father comes from. This is where my father comes. My father is from Upper East region, Binaba village. That's where my father comes from. We are very close to Burkina Faso.
No, it's good. But
is saying why are you always boasting about Ghana?
I said good afternoon. I said good afternoon from Ghana. That is where I am.
You said warm, sunny, civilized Ghana. We are civilized people. All this. Why you always boasting?
He says it's a sunny day in Ghana.
It's a sunny day in Ghana. Is it sunnier than Sokoto in Ghana? Do you have Sokoto in Ghana? Is it sunnier than Sokoto? Do you want us to
It's supposed to be winter.
Don't worry, I will invite you. One man, if I sell 2 cows, I will invite you to come to Ghana.
You have to sell 3 because I eat a lot. But thank you, carry on. Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Okay, that's good. Like I said, I will be the last person that will, support the visit of my Orji Kalu to Nnamdi Kanu. There is two things that I'm suspecting. He is playing a political card with NNAMDI Kanu. You know, it is rumored that he is trying to be the president from the southeast. That has, after Omahi, I think he is the other person that they are looking at. He has been going around the northern part of the Nigeria, and he has been receiving serious and strong support, especially I think from Niger State, Katsina, and I think some part of Kaduna too as well. Hello, can you
You
hear
can
me?
see now, Ghana no get network. Ghana no get network.
We're struggling to hear you, Vin.
I'm running that my battery is.
Hello. All right. Yeah, that's better. Vin, do we still have you? Do you want me to give you a moment?
No network in that part of
Ghana.
No
Look at that.
network in Ghana.
After all the boasting, you see, this is why you should never be boastful. Oh. This is why people should not boast, because he always immediately comes to fight you. Eh?
It will be that now you send something to him.
Eh? The spirit of Nduguru strikes again. There you are. You see, don't try us, Omagana. But from Omagana, let's go to Omoibo. So in CBD to you, so to that eastern space, then Orji Kalu's visit to NNAMDI Kanu and the fallout from it, IPOB talking tough, the lawyers doing cartwheels, and Orji Kalu on the defensive. So that whole space, in CBD to you.
What's the name? Orji Kalu. I think what Thomas was saying is probably what might be happening there, probably just to tell him to calm down and because I'm not really calm down because if he's going when they've already done the main groundwork. I don't know how involved he was in all this process, so nobody can really tell exactly what he went there to do. But from the response of IPOB, then definitely I don't think that everybody is on the same page. Because if everybody was on the same page, I'm sure IPOB will not speak about it. So there's something there.
What are you speculating that he went there to do? What do you think motivates? What do you think the motivating factor is? What self-interest do you identify for Kalu in that visit?
Maybe you see before. I think Uzo Kalu was one of the people that he was, NNAMDI Kanu was also always calling out. So and now that the thing looks like things are is getting some kind of his freedom back somehow, or maybe he will get it back in the future.
Next week, according to Kemi Olunloyo, next week, yes.
We can't take all that. Kemi Olunloyo, she's not in Nigeria.
So prepare the F40 Rose.
We can't really take all that as a serious thing. But no, what I'm saying is that so probably, when he's seeing that this thing is getting to that point, obviously he would want to make sure that things do not continue the way it was, especially on his own side, So, and probably also if he has been accused, because Orji Kalu was among the people that Ipob said, I think he was among the people that sponsored and did everything to bring for the rendition that happened. So, so probably he was trying to clarify some things, That's what I think he was going there for. He can't go there to who is not able, he's not capable. In fact, he's not up to the level of going to maybe confront NNAMDI Kanu like that. NNAMDI Kanu is not one person that is just. There's a lot of people behind him, so obviously it will just be some kind of going to clarify things, so that's probably.
You don't see it as a political move. Just a week prior, this guy had a long and involved closed-door meeting with Tinubu just a week prior to visiting Kalu. So do you not think he's doing his groundwork for 2023, trying to put all the ducks in a row?
I don't know how far it will go, unless maybe through some very strong deals. But someone like even Okorocha has more
No,
headway.
maybe not essentially at the presidency, but at least as a player in the space. Is he not playing himself into 2023
Yeah,
by this
definitely.
co-branding, as Ola likes to put it,
Yeah, there might.
aligning his name with them?
Yeah, there must be some kind of political interest there, but it's not properly calculated because it's going when it's like they've passed the worst part of the of the situation. So if he had gone from the beginning and all those time, when things are very, when it looks very gloomy, and so, but now one people can easily say that, oh, it's coming when the elders and Mbazulike have gone to see Buhari when they have appealed, and is going to just register his own, So if it's a political move, I don't know how effective. I don't think it will be that effective. That's what I'm. But if it's like a personal,
Hmm.
if it's like a personal
But
safety.
do you not see the name association that is in play when suddenly people are discussing Orji Kalu in relation to NNAMDI Kanu, and NNAMDI Kanu, of course, having a vast base? Do you not see that there's a name association being created and a narrative being put into play?
Yeah, 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 probably something like what Uba wanted to do in Alaba. And after going to say he's visiting Namdi Kano, then went to Alaba thinking that all of a sudden everybody will be on his side, and they just chased him away from the place. So that's why I'm telling you that the masses, I don't know, especially the southeast or the Igbo youths, they've gone, to be honest with you, from what I know, they've gone beyond this political from the politicians. Maybe new politicians they've not heard of, but you see these politicians that are already known, they cannot change the mind of these guys at all in any way. Probably some they cannot change the mind of these guys. So if it's a political move, I don't think it will be very effective the way he thinks, unless maybe some kind of personal security or safety measures, or maybe his reputation, something like that, to do, maybe he's trying to guide his reputation in some ways, then maybe it can be effective. But for political reasons of people to come and support you for something, no, no, it won't work. It won't
Or,
work with our people right now.
all right, thank you. So that space, then the visit of Sanwo Olu's representative to uh, Adefarasin'S church, the response, and what the pastor said afterwards. So to all of that in CBD.
One man, this your clickbait. I thought you said it was Sanwo Olu that was good, and that's why I say,
Well, yes, that's what they said. So that's what they had. I don't read these pieces before I read them live on screen. So I just go
oh,
with the headlines. But yeah, so
yeah, oh,
essentially, Sanwo-Olu's representative is Sanwo-Olu, isn't he? So he speaks for
yeah, yeah, yeah.
his master's voice. Yeah.
Somehow, yeah. I somehow I'm a bit in support of what Thomas said, and also in support of what you said, because the part of Thomas I agree with is, you know, uh, no matter the personal opinions or views or political views and society views of Polade Farasin, he wouldn't definitely want to bring that in that moment in the event. He wouldn't want it to just that's not the ground for that. So definitely we try to set some kind of serenity, but where I don't think it was necessary apologizing. Just like you said, I think he should have kind of, in a way of making a statement, also acknowledge the pain,
The
the
anger
anger
of the crowd. Yes.
of the crowd.
The
So
yeah the
he would have
grievances.
he would have just said something like, we know how you're feeling, but let
I
us not.
understand your pain, but this is
Yeah,
not the space. He's our guest. That kind of language. Not I
exactly.
apologize on behalf of this
On behalf, no, no,
of
no,
these
no.
unruly people.
You
You
can't
know.
you can't you can't apologize on their behalf because
Yeah.
they are not apologetic.
Of course.
you can say I apologize that it happened in my event arena or something, but you cannot apologize on behalf
Is
of.
it a dollar move? Is what I'm asking. Is it a dollar move? Was he lining himself up for money? The pastor,
Well, to be honest with
pastor
you,
preneur.
I'm also a Christian, although not this regular type of Christian, but I'm also a Christian, and I wouldn't want to touch the anointed.
Look
You
at
know,
that, eh? You people, eh?
I
They
don't want
have
to touch the
colonized you
anointed. So,
fully, eh?
no, no, but that's
Mind
not even.
control, eh?
No,
I deny. Are you hearing your brother?
one
Eh?
man.
I'm hearing my brother.
These are the tithe and offering people, or 10% of their salaries. Tithe and offering.
Yeah, I believe he's having some shares as well.
Look at that. Of course, now
No, no,
that Ferrari must be replaced.
Mm-hmm.
but, but what I'm trying to say is that he should have. I don't think it's not fair to just say it's a tight and dollar move. I mean, dollar whatever move, because the man has a track record. You have to look at people's track record and not use one event to to characterize the person. So you have to look at how their history. He has been speaking truth to power. He has been voicing out. So
Let's
you can't
focus on the
just.
syrup. Can we
Yeah.
help you get it into bottles? I don't know. I only have one ladle.
Who is this rascally person? Is that you in CBD? Oh no,
Yeah.
that's Prof. It's always Prof. All right, carry on in CBD.
Yeah, yeah. So he should. I can't accuse him of that because he has proved. The other day they were singing his praise. Although that is last statement of Plan B. I did not buy everything because we cannot all run away. If we all run away, then
You ran
obviously.
away. You ran away. You want to shut the door after you. Huh?
No, no, I did not run away. One man.
You know what they call what you just said? They call it the drawbridge hypothesis. The drawbridge hypothesis. So when you cross to the other side, you pull the drawbridge and lift the rest to their faith.
No,
You are drawing
no,
up the. Oh, look at this guy.
One,
Yeah. You
one
know what
man.
we call. You know what we call people like you in Yoruba land or daju. You are not daju. Look
Odaju.
at this guy.
So
You
one
don't
man.
buy Plan B. Haven't activated it yourself.
In CBD
Eh?
is a politician.
Look at this guy.
Let's assume that we have all made mistake. For example, should we allow other people to make the same mistakes as
No, you
Which
can
mistake?
reverse that mistake now. Do you want me to send you a ticket one way? Look at this guy.
no. One man, you see, another thing, for me, like where I am right now, I'm a citizen of this place also.
Look at that.
So I'm not just in a foreign country. I'm also
In my
a way,
country.
in my country.
Oh,
I
yeah,
wouldn't
sing
be
your national anthem for us. What national anthem do you have in Norway? Do you even know the language? Do you know the language?
Woman, I don't know, but
Look at
let
this
me
guy.
not talk too much so that they don't come and look for me.
Nobody is looking for you. Eh?
In
Don't worry.
CBD.
When I disappear from your screens, that is when you start to worry. Then you know that.
Look for me and collect back their citizenship.
Because I know your address is. So when they pick me up, you are all, you can all run, but you cannot hide. But I carry on.
Yeah. So the man, I will not judge Adefarasin based on that, but let us see how it proceeds. If he continues with this political correctness, and then we'll know that something has changed. But I don't think it's fair. It's fair to use one event and characterize
All those
it.
designer wears and expensive watch and shoes. Somebody has to pay for it now.
Obviously, he's already making money now, one man. Are you not seeing? Don't you know House on the Rock is a very big church, and it's a very modern church that has a lot of that draws a lot of middle class people. And
all these preparing people, what is?
There's a lot of middle class people in his church, so definitely. And you know the way our Nigerians do this Christianity, they can decide. Somebody can sell his house and give to their pastor and say that So this is how. This is how some of our people do Christianity there. But I'm not judging them as long as they are fully aware of what they are doing. Everybody should go on with how they have chosen to live. But nobody should blame another person for anyhow their life turned out to be, because they made their decisions uh, to themselves. Now, what am I afraid of now, woman? This one you're showing
Eh?
me.
Why are you asking me? Is it not me that is accusing you of of being cowardly?
I'm
You,
not
you
afraid of
have turned into
anything now.
Egbabi or Ribio.
No, no,
Yeah.
no, no, woman. That I am not afraid. We can't do
Eh?
it in. There are some places you go, you have to. This is not the place to
Look at
say.
that.
In CBD.
One man, you have
Eh?
to know. You know, have to know how
It's
to
if they
move.
are just going to lock his door now, thinking he's waiting for them to come in James Bond style through the
Man
window.
with the
Look at this
man
guy.
with the lion
Eh?
heart now is
The
becoming
lion
Travis.
heart,
No,
eh? Maybe toy lion, eh?
one
It's
man,
if
we
they,
have to move
eh?
with wisdom. Or
We
even
have to move
Jesus,
with wisdom, eh?
even Jesus before, when he knew his time was not yet arrived. You know, when he knew his time was not yet up, he had to move with wisdom. You know, so sometimes we move with wisdom, not just.
All right, and CBD. So this last story, I'm not sure if you heard it or not, but did this woman move with wisdom? The Nasarawa housewife that ended up having a son for his husband, for her rather, husband's son. Did you hear the readout, and do you have any thoughts on it?
Yeah, I had the readout. In fact, I was just laughing all through the readout. But where I stopped laughing was when I learned the young man lost his life in a tragic accident. So
Mm.
then that was an unexpected. That's a tragic end to that. And the boy,
Does that woman carry the blame, or is she a victim too?
but you see, the thing is that the woman, I don't think she's even thinking of how. I think she's just more relieved that she's able to have a baby.
Mm.
You know, and probably she's looking at her age, and you don't know the
So
pressure that
can you
people.
then see the circumstances that led her to do what she did?
uh, I can see the circumstance, but there's no excuse. She was just a woman of little faith, and
Wow.
little patience. Because if some people would tell you that you could have, although it's easier for some of us to say that I've never been in that situation, but some people will tell you that she could have just been more hopeful, and probably it would have worked out.
19 years. 19 years.
She's been married for 19 years.
There you are. Yes.
Wow, and well, you see, the worst part is that she should not try to justify the sexual harassment.
The thing is, let me just give just a quick snapshot for whoever may have missed it. So this lady in Nasarawa, she had been married for 19 years to a husband who adored her and that she adored. So very quickly they wanted to start a family after marriage, but it wasn't happening. So years went. They went to all of the medical options that was available to them. The medical assurances was that the lady she had good fertility, but the husband had low count, and they were saying that to change the diet of the husband, they did all that, but on and on it went. So suddenly the husband started to turn against her, very hostile that she was not producing what she needed to produce. And the mother-in-law, of course, she came from the villages to come and have her go. So suddenly this woman was a it was a hostage in a very hostile environment. Years came, years went, uh, year on, a decade plus, going on 19 years, and the same story. She cries every day. So the husband then brought somebody from into their home who he described as a relative from the village. So the woman now, she said she even went to places that her faith would not ordinarily allow. So that tells you she even consulted Babalawos. So completely fed up that she had tried all her options, but intent on testing her fertility, she then started to look in the direction of this young man that the husband had brought home, describing as a relative. So she managed to persuade the guy to start to sleep with her, and shortly, just very quickly after the young man, even the boy, 19 years old, shortly after the guy started sleeping with her, she became pregnant, and she was filled with joy. But shortly after that she became pregnant, she then subsequently discovered that this chap that the husband brought in describing as a relative was actually the husband's son. But the husband and his relatives, they were trying to hide that away from her so she doesn't mistreat the guy. So that was the narrative. And then shortly after that, that young boy then got admission into an institution and died on his way to school. So who is the culprit and who is the victim is really where the conundrum is.
Eh, yeah, one man. But you see, let me just quickly round up on that. What I'm saying is this: the ladies, nobody should make excuse for sexual harassment and sexual whatever do they call it, even manipulating that young boy. Why couldn't she go? I think if she had gone outside, I wouldn't judge her at all. In fact, I wouldn't say anything because that should be between
No,
her
she
and
wanted
husband.
to have a child that has the blood of that family. I think that is what she thought. That was her thinking.
That was her thinking, but it even makes it worse that you want to have. I think it's in some places it's even a taboo for a woman to just go and have sexual relations with the relative of the man. So I think and she took advantage of that young boy. Why couldn't? Is that the only son boy in the family? And saying that.
Yeah, he was the one that was immediately to hand.
And obviously, she's some kind of sexual predator
Predator.
because
Yeah,
if
yeah,
she
that's
if she if she was observing the size of his, like you read earlier, the
yeah.
size of his whatever, you know,
Yes.
it means that she has had an eye for him and she has been looking. She just used an excuse. Someone that is trying to get pregnant, why is she looking at the size of the thing is carrying?
Well,
Because
she wants to know that there is potency there,
because
surely.
is it the size that determine potency?
I
So
don't know. You tell me.
she was actually looking for pleasure, but that's what I'm telling you. She contradicted herself, and it only takes someone that is clever to see through her,
Look at that.
her shenanigan. Because if she's saying that she saw that the size can benefit her, then she's looking for pleasure, not pregnant, not just a child. So anyway we look at it, this is a case of
So,
sexual.
so you're putting the blame on her.
On 100%, I'll put the
You
blame
don't
on
have
her.
any sympathy for her circumstances.
I can't have a sympathy right now because
In CBD, body no be firewood though.
no, but she has a husband for that now.
He has ignored her for 7, 8 months.
Let him. So okay, then she should come out straight and said that the motivation or one of the major motivations was that she wanted to be pleasurized. Sorry,
Look at this guy.
not pleasurized. Sorry, to be pleasured.
No, but you're a funny character though. Out of all of the woes of that woman, you think that's the. She said
No,
she had never been adulterous in all the 19 years that she has been married. So if she was driven by pleasure, why has she not acted on it all the way through?
woman, but you need to understand that the child is that. What is the legal age of consent in Nigeria, by the way?
I
Is
think
it?
it's 18, isn't it? If not 16.
No, it's 18. I even checked it
But the
out.
boy is 19 now.
But I thought you said 17.
No, it's yeah. I think it's 19,
Or maybe I heard wrongly. I thought you read and you said he was 17 years old.
or maybe I
So
did say I don't know. But carry on. Yeah.
yeah, so everything I've been saying is because I had 17 years old. Because and with that age, if it's 19, to be honest, that's a legal age, and according to law, it's not
No, he
illegal.
was 17. Yeah, though he was only he was 17. But she'd been married for 19 years. But no, the boy was 17.
Yeah, so that's what I'm telling you, that's a very that's not just immoral, that's a crime. So if somebody wants to prosecute her for that, they can. But I think just for the sake
It's a
of
crime, Abby. Why don't you go and say that in the north?
uh, because of their the religious beliefs there. But you
Look at
see,
that.
to be honest, that is one of the issues we're having in the country now. You cannot be practicing some kind of a religious law, that will affect the law of the land. So obviously, so what I would say finally on that issue is that the woman took advantage of that boy, and she also exposed herself by saying that she saw the size of his whatever,
As a
and
predator.
and she saw, and she felt that it can. I think there's a way you read it. I forgot the words exactly used. And when she saw it, she knew that
I think we know what you mean.
it will benefit. It will, benefit her somehow. So that means it's a premeditated and calculated move. And even if she wants a child, which we all agree, but that was not the only motivation. So because you understand this, the way these things happen. So I will hold the woman responsible 100%.
Look at that. You're a cruel man in CBD. But thank you, in CBD. Let's go on from in CBD to Prof. And I bet you now, if we unmute Prof, you'll be the daughter we hear first. So good to hear you. Hello, Prof. Are you there?
Hello.
Hello, Prof. Good to see
Yeah,
you. We're
good.
expecting to hear your daughter first.
Yeah, I made sure you the probability of you hearing her was 0 because I left where she was. Maybe you may hear her later.
All right, brilliant. Yeah, regards to her.
Okay.
So, do you want to start off where in CBD left off? Did you hear me?
Let me start
it?
there.
Yeah.
Let me start there. I think number one, that state of Nasarawa, I think they need some level of deliverance. Remember, there's a day I started this show. You mentioned of the twins that grew up together and ended up, the girl had a child for her twin brother and decided, her brother decided to marry and she objected. You remember that is from this same Nasarawa. Now, let me talk about that matter. It's very, very sad. See, I support what CBD said. I give much of the blame to the woman than to the man. All of them have their own blame. Why I have the blame is, as far as I'm concerned, even though what I may say may look vulgar or profane, it's only a lady that doesn't spread her legs for any man. The man won't come there. That is one thing I've come to find out. As far as she does not open up, nothing will happen. So she's the one that opened up for the man. It's true, yes, I agree that she wanted a child, but as far as I'm concerned, she shouldn't have done that. What has happened has happened. Now, I'll blame the man in one case, in many areas. One, that's why lying is not good. The man lied. He brought the son over and said it's his relative. I'm sure if she had mentioned it was the son, yes, there could have been problem, but that man could have stayed away from that lady. His wife would have stayed away from the child. So the man's lying contributed a lot to that damage. He should have said the truth. And anything that goes around comes around. Who knows if his impotence is connected to that son he had? And that man, if the lady's statement is true that she has not been adulterous all through her marriage, I believe strongly that man had been, let me use the word, fornicative for a long while before he married.
I think his problems were dietary. Maybe he was taking too much sugar, or he was eating too much of the bad stuff, smoking too much, drinking too much. All of those bad lies. Yeah.
Well, the same. I see the man as someone that he dispensed what would have given birth to children earlier than now. I don't believe that son he came home with is his only son. I don't believe it. And as I said, anything that goes around comes around. The man gave birth to a child outside marriage. Now, the son gave birth, is now yielding, bringing, has, in short,
is that still a taboo, giving birth outside marriage?
Tremendous taboo. Tremendous taboo. No, be only small, now very big taboo. Do you know what this one is? The man's seed is what the woman pregnated. The man's seed pregnated the woman. Very, very bad.
Yes, keep it in the family now. What are you talking? Is that not keep it in the
Let
family?
them keep it in the family, but they need deliverance, because one thing I know with all this nonsense is the thing always comes back. It's an evil pattern that will always reoccur unless if it's addressed. Because I remember when before I came back to
fasting
Nigeria,
and prayers, Abi. Fasting and prayers.
they should meet a genuine pastor. Fast and prayer must be there now.
Laying of hands, Abi.
Whatever I be, but that is it. Because this is not funny.
Prof, a man of science. Look at that.
No, you think it's only science I can speak on? I may even speak better on this area than science. So it's very sad. It's very sad, As this man, if he has said
personally, from what I've been saying, you probably deduce that I feel the woman is the victim in the narrative, but then of course, not everybody thinks that.
Yeah, not everybody thinks that, but to me, as I keep saying, the woman is to be blamed much more. Yes, she wanted a child, but she shouldn't have condescended to go and meet this so kind guy. You understand? But I believe if that man had said this is his son, I'm sure that woman won't have met him.
Sorry, Prof. I think we are not addressing this with the consciousness of how old that boy was, number one, and also the fact that she took advantage of someone under her
She should be
care.
arrested, shouldn't she? She should be arrested, Abi.
Someone that could not say no, because he was directly under her care, was living with them in the house, and she even went ahead to threaten him that she's going to kill him if he tells anyone. So you see, that is not.
She should be arrested.
She should be, because that is coercion. That is coercion. That's sexual harassment and every other thing that you can think of. So you have to look at it in that way. There was no consent whatsoever there.
Just where you opened up there, in terms of just be mindful of the language so YouTube doesn't pick us up. But in terms of male-female activity, it's very difficult. If a man is not, it's very difficult to say a man is non-consenting the moment it shows arousal, because arousal is consent. So if there's an arousal enough for him to complete the task, then that arousal by itself is consent.
Can I interject 1 minute?
Hello. Okay. Go on.
Okay.
Let us do some calculation here. One man, you said that lady and the husband has been married for 19 years, right?
Yeah.
And the boy is 17 years. So that means that the boy was born by another woman after that man got married.
Yeah, you are. You didn't think about that, did you, in CBD?
So that story is faulty right there. So there is a contradiction right there, because according to the report, when you were reading it, they brought this guy from the village. The husband brought him from the village. You understand?
At what age?
Yeah, so at what age did the husband brought that guy home and told him that he is a relative from the village? So you can see a problem there. So the man is having extramarital affair outside, and that is why they lie. That's why they couldn't tell that woman that it's his son. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's why they couldn't tell the woman that the boy is the husband's son. So the family hide that.
It's a case of the guy gets married, a year, 2, 3 goes, and then he goes to visit his mother in the village, and the mother lines up some village girl for him to say, "Oh yeah, test yourself now."
Yeah. So in this situation, I blame the man mostly in this problem.
Thank you, Ajale Koko.
So he hide this situation from this lady. He called the wife. This woman has been patient, suffering with you. The problem with him is the one that is have a low count, not the woman. The woman was with you for 19 years, going through that pain. You couldn't give her baby. So who are we to blame? And prior to the incident of sexual with this boy, you neglected this woman for 7 months or 9 months. You didn't touch her, you didn't move closer, you're acting crazy. After the medical report shows that you are the one that have problem and not the woman. So I cannot blame that woman. I could blame him, slightly that, yes, he went after an underage. If that report is right, he went after an underage, yeah, I could blame him for that.
Yeah,
but then, body is not firewood. For 7-9 months, you couldn't do anything with your husband. So the man is the cause of the problem. Look.
But is adultery a
crime? Thank you.
So the man is the cause of the problem. If that man has shown love to her wife, carrying her along, that don't worry, we will deal with this situation, and you meeting with her every day, and you are doing what you got to do as a man behind the door, you are still doing your stuff. The woman will not do this, but you neglected this woman.
Exactly.
What do you expect?
And the clock is ticking. And the clock is ticking.
And the clock is ticking.
That is not admissible in the court of law, Ajanle Koko. We are talking about legality.
It is admissible.
One man, can I say something?
Yeah, come in UK. Let's hear from UK. Go on, finish that thought, Ajanle Koko.
Let me finish my thought. Let me finish that thought. So, look, this woman is going through this pain. But, in my conclusion, I will say, well, everything happened for a reason. Maybe God had destined that man to have a baby through that woman from her son. So it happened for a reason. So he's the one that caused it. So he should just accept it as a fate that, well, that's the way God had destined it, that his son will leave behind a son.
And Ajanle Koko, to that woman's reasoning that she went after that young man because he is of some age, so let's call him a young man, that she went after that young man for reasons of wanting to keep it within that family, that if she does conceive, she wants it to be for that family. Is there logic to that?
It's reasonable.
Jesus.
It's reasonable as well. That is reasonable. I don't see... I cannot condemn her, but it's reasonable. You still want to have a baby for somebody within the family. It's reasonable. The man is blame the man. Blame the man.
Is a modern man now, but
blame the man.
You disappoint me, Ajanle Koko.
Blame that man. Blame that man. If a man does not show love to her wife, this is what it will result to. Show love to your wife, keep her, carry your wife along, and do everything to keep her happy. When you don't keep her happy, she will go and do this.
Thank you.
Let's hear from you. Sorry, Nzibidi. Let's hear from UK. Who wants to come in? Yeah, UK.
I know.
Hold on, Nzibidi. We've heard plenty from you. Yeah.
One man.
Yeah.
All the audience and everyone that is on the platform. Let me tell you, it's a very straightforward phenomenon. When you marry and you don't service your wife very well, you don't show her that love. The tendency of that woman going out of to get her satisfaction somewhere else is there. I mean, everybody knows that we are all human beings. I mean, nobody should pretend.
God bless you, my brother. God bless you.
Nobody should pretend. So when you marry, make sure you service your wife very well. Show her love, treat her good. Don't use that archaic way of life that our parents, they have been using. So for me, I will not blame the woman for anything. I mean, that's where she see this thing. So
No
the guy
one
fire the guy fire very well, fire
No,
am very
no,
well. So
Look
no
at that.
one
She had to check out the product
Can I?
before she.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
So CBD,
let
to
us
send
not
you back to the
no
villages.
one
let us not
CBD is
pretend.
still
Let
in the
us not
villages.
pretend. Let us not pretend.
Can I?
So and for the fact, the guy, I mean, women are women are like egg. You have to handle them with care.
What type of talk is
Except
this?
you don't want that
Why
relationship.
this
You
is
know,
why this is
You
why
see,
Nigeria
it's
is
time
where
you
it
left the
is.
villages. You've left the
yeah.
villages long enough, but mentally you are still there.
Can I talk after UK, please?
No, my
Yeah.
question is this: a simple
Hold
Okay.
on.
I mean,
question
that's what I
to
just want to say. Yeah. You
Ajane
guys can
Koko
carry
and
on.
UK. What if this case was reversed and that is a young girl of 17 years? Will you people be and the man went after her because his wife cannot
Well, that is
whatever.
not unknown. In fact, that is more commonplace than the other way around.
But you know how the whole society will turn against the man. So why
No,
is it that
because
we
it's
cannot
more
Can
commonplace.
I?
It's more commonplace. Let's hear from
why,
Can I say?
engineer. Let's hear from
why can't we
engineer.
protect the boy?
The boy doesn't need protecting. But what a teenage boy? Well, you're not a teenage boy. You know what they are like. They don't think about two things. But okay,
I was never attracted to an old woman as a teenage
look
boy.
at that. You
Um,
must have left.
So at 30 something years
That
old.
is a lie. That is in fact, I don't believe that. You see, with the engineer, let's have. We are all boys here now. What are you talking about?
um,
Yeah, what are you talking? We all went through that
One
phase.
man, oh.
What
thank
is it?
you.
We were all there once upon a time.
It's even the member
Irọ́ ló ń pa now. Yeah, what about that?
Yeah.
A teenage boy is not. He doesn't lost after everything he sees. This is what CVD is saying, that he never went through that phase. What
Well,
is it?
first and foremost, thank you guys, and thank you, one man. I just want to make this clarification. When it comes to men can lie. That's one. Men can lie. But there's something that we need to understand here. Why can't men be like someone like the way one man is, the way Ajaleko is, the way UK is, just like the way I am? Why can't men be like us, like straightforward men? Because we are the most good and perfect men that will do things the way it's supposed to be. This man, he lied to his wife. He didn't service the wife. And what do you think? And think about the law in that kind of area, that kind of state. The woman will be maybe in house, in lock.
Crying every day, and it's double punishment. Or the mother-in-law is coming to shout
She's
abuse
being
at her every
tortured.
day,
That's
and
someone's
they all
daughter.
ignores her in bed. So
That's someone's daughter. She's being tortured. She's being traumatized. She won't think with her real mindset. And apart from that, he still lied to her that he's his cousin. Brother, we've said the truth. Now say the truth now. So things like
are you justifying immorality?
It's from the Fulani stock. You are a Fulani
there's
man.
nothing like immorality there, my brother.
Are you justifying immorality?
Listen to what I said. Back to what I'm about to say again. Look at the environment she is. She's being tortured. She's being traumatized. She's being denied. She may be denied going out.
This proves our backwardness in
you understand?
Imagine
it does. Do you
got tough you guys don't want to. You guys don't want to show understanding to the circumstances around this thing.
This is that concept still of a woman being a second-class person. This is what we're really talking about.
This is someone's daughter. This is someone's daughter. This is someone's sister. You understand? Let's call a spade a spade.
All this, engineer, please, 1 minute. All these things where Thomas and the CBD, they say, if they take her to court, her story is not tenable. Let me tell you, we have seen several cases in this country where husband abuses her wife, physical abuse and this thing, and the woman one day, she can't take, she carry gun, kill the husband, and they went to court. He showed all evidences of how this man and that he could not. They acquitted that woman because she was going through psychological. The man was putting her through pains, physical abuse, psychological abuse, and everything. Because of all those reasons, they let her go. And
exactly.
the law court will consider the circumstances around the incident before they come out with judgment. They won't just say, oh, because the law said, oh, you abused 70 years old, oh, you are going to jail. They will consider circumstances around it and look at what happened before they will come to reasonable judgment. Law court is not a place where they make decisions like Buhari, where go say, go and brutalize Kanu or Ipob. No.
Depending on the jury, isn't it? Because
one man, if you see
this man has put this woman through pain and suffering, psychological
I'm actually
torture.
surprised that Nsebede is talking the way he is. I thought
Psychological torture.
you were thought
one man forget
modern
about
man.
One man is
God don't affect our brother in CBD.
It's because I'm a modern man. That's why I'm talking like this. Because indeed, it's so sad that in this in this time in history, in this time,
I want to ask Nsibidi a simple question.
All right.
Nsibidi,
take a question, Nsibidi.
Nsibidi, do you have feeling as a human being?
No.
Nsibidi, if you keep your wife, I can't carry your wife. What will happen, Nsibidi?
What?
Answer that question, no.
Answer me this question. If you keep your wife, I come to carry your wife, what will happen?
You no go fit.
So you gonna leave me now? You gonna leave me? If you answer this question, then I will know that yes. You gonna leave me?
What is the meaning of gender equality?
Look at that.
Look at that.
What you treat a lady, you use the same hand, you know, the same way you treat a man, you treat a lady that, you know. So because it's so sad that we are still thinking in this time of the world that boys cannot be sexually,
one man, if anything like this come on your show, if they're still available, let me know. I'll go and help.
Look at that. Engineer, take it easy. Yeah, you want to repopulate the world. Look at this.
Bible say go and multiply, innit?
Engineer. ECBD, I dare your side. Let's call the spade a spade. This is immorality.
We know who will be sending back to the villages, and it is Thomas and in CBD. So we send you back to the villages because I
look
don't
at
think
the screen, both of you.
If you see anything like this, call me. I will travel anywhere. I'm ready to help.
Look at that. All right, gentlemen. We've come to the 2-hour mark, so I'm going to just want to round it off. But I'll just sweep through for very quick comments from everybody. Apologies, I know not everybody have got the full, but I did start. And so I'll go from Thomas to Landon.
Let me go first. I'm eating. Let me go first.
Okay, then to you, UK.
Well, what I want to say is that everybody saying, I mean, blood runs through everybody in this life, whether you are in America, Africa, wherever place you are. You know, forget about the culture and everything. We all are human beings. We have feelings. You know, I will say that there's a way. You know, you have to deal with every situation based on the way we see it, and you have to deal with individuals based on the way we see it. If we start behaving that way, that's only where our country will change. That's only where the world will change, because even as we are talking, it's everywhere. You know, it's not even in Africa. You know. So that's just what I want to say. You know, we have to like see ourselves as other people, both women and men. You know, that's all I want to say.
All right, thank you, UK. Always a delight. So from UK we go to Thomas, just as rapidly as UK. Thomas.
I I'm with INCBD tonight. All of us, I think almost everybody here, we live in Western world. If this same thing happened in the Western world, we know where that lady will be tonight. So I don't support immorality, despite any circumstances you are passing through. That is my submission. May God bless everyone. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Thomas. So from Thomas, we go on to Insibidi. Insibidi, to you. Insibidi, are you there?
Yeah,
Insibidi.
yes,
Yeah.
I'm there. Yeah.
Okay, to you.
Yeah, so thank you. I think I've made my points very clear enough. So we need to call a spade, and you need to take that like what Ajane Kiko is saying. It all depends on the jury, because in America and I think in some other countries, these decisions are made by the juries, and I can assure you that it's very rare. Maybe 1 out of 1,000 cases that woman will go free, because you need to look
It
at.
happened in my own state here, and they let her go. And it's a popular newscaster. She killed her husband due to several abuse, and they let her go.
It depends, although it's a little bit different, but I get what you mean.
Acted in self-defense,
Yeah, I get what you mean. But we have to, in this situation, we cannot speak for, it seems like because we are men, we are trying to speak for the boy, and we don't know the circumstances in which he was. Imagine the lady telling him that if he tells anybody what has happened, she's going to kill him. We are not considering all this. Consider everything, then you understand why this is a case of gross violation of human rights. I don't know how they usually put it in these lawyer people, but you understand what I mean. So this thing, it's deeper than the way we are saying it.
All right, thank you, Insibidi. We don't understand what you mean, but I'm sure you understand what you mean. But that is the main thing. Thank you, Insibidi. So that was Insibidi. So from Insibidi, we go to engineer. So, but first we acknowledge our engineer's super chat, which he did to the buy the coffee. So thank you for that. And then to
No
you,
problem.
engineer.
Thank you, one man. Thank you, Ajale Koko. Please and please and please, if there's any case like that comes across your line, you have my number. I don't mind taking the risk to help our sister. But it no be firewood, because at the end of the day, you can't cheat the nature. She has been passing through a lot. This is what people don't understand. And look at where she is. They will use in the name of that tradition in that area, that religion in that area, to suppress their life. Do we know what she has been passing through? No. Women, they said they are weaker vessel. So please and please, we shouldn't lie to them. We should be honest. It's just like what you said, Ajale Koko. If the man is honest from day one and he said it's his son, that thing will never even take place. But he said it's his cousin. He's not doing nothing, so the cousin will help the man. Please, I'm not his cousin. If something like this come across your way, I keep saying it, one man, Ajale Koko, please call me. I don't mind flying down to come to America. I will do it. I will deliver what men can deliver.
I thought you would have gone past that stage by now. It's usually
One man,
teenagers that are always this. So look at that.
How can I see
Engineer,
another man
you want
disgracing
to
another man? I won't help.
you want to mobile or
No.
mobileables. You want to
If a man,
mobile.
if I see another man is not active, well, then I will help him to be proactive in it. I will help him cover that area. God bless everybody. Like I said,
as your Christian duty.
Yes.
As
you have my number. Contact me if you see any case. I'm ready to come and help. Help our fellow man. Thank you. God bless you.
All right, thank you, engineer. Engineer now wants to repopulate the world. So Ajanle Koko, to you.
One man, I thank you for your platform, and thank everybody that came on the platform this morning. It's been a very wonderful one this morning. But I want to, I really like what the people at Church Adefarasin'S did against the representative of Lagos at that church conference. Maybe revolution has begun from the church, and I wish it can spread around to every part of the nation, right from inside the church. Let us start to condemn this criminal that we have in power and their representative and their associate. Maybe we will start to get things right. So other than that, I would like to ask those of you watching us around the world to please subscribe and like and share and press the notification button so that anytime one man went to Mo is going on live, you can get notified. I thank you all. I thank you, one man. See you later.
All right, thank you, Ajanle Koko. Hopefully we'll see you in the latter session. So that was Ajanle Koko, of course, a voice that you are all familiar with. So that was Ajanle Koko. So we landed on a moral maze, they call it, a moral conundrum. So how would you evaluate that lady's storyline is the question. You can see that just polar opposite how people chose to view it. But I overall thought that woman was a victim of circumstances. But what do you think? Share your thoughts with me in the comment section. So I'll leave you here. Carry the conversation on with you in the comment section. But here, I say peace.